Wildly important goal.
Uh,
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I did the thing I tell everyone else not to do, but it is what it is.
Wildly important goal.
Okay, so we're gonna go here and we're gonna go mute that. Hi guys. I didn't realize she let everybody.
Hey,
Awesome. Happy Talk Tuesday.
Happy
All
Talk
right.
Tuesday.
Hi. I love it. Come off mute, say hi, show your faces. I see some people with their cameras off. You know the rules. Unless you're naked, turn it on. Anyway, this is gonna be super fun because
I'm naked.
okay, Bonnie, keep your camera off.
It's off.
This is not that
It's
kind of
off.
film. Going live streaming on YouTube, they'll shut us down.
No, we don't want that to happen.
All right, perfect. All right, well, today we have Lynea Carver on the call. I'm so excited that she decided to hop in here and talk about business planning and maybe a little bit of Instagram. I don't know. We're kind of all over the place this morning, but that's great. I love it. I love all of it. I know that you guys are like, more business planning. What? Yeah, and we're doing it again in 2 weeks. So, anyway, if you haven't got your business plan done, she's going to give some tips to you, which is amazing. And she's got some cool Instagram stuff to talk about too. So, she is, if you don't know Linnea, you should. She is amazing at organic social media, telling stories. She's still trying to get me to, be a better storyteller. But I love her for it because stories work, right? Stories sell, facts tell, blah, blah, blah. It's a thing. So anyway, she is an amazing realtor in Bonnie Lake, Washington. And thank you for being on the call. I want to turn it over to you and give you full driving privileges because you may want to share screen and you are all set.
Love it. Okay, first of all, the reason you got to tell stories is because I could sit here all day, every day and be like, so the market is down 4% right now. And the same realtor next door is going to say the exact same thing. So what makes you different? Nothing, except for the way you tell the story. So that's why stories are important. FYI, we're not going to go into that today. Maybe that'll be part of your plan for 2026. But who here has got your business plan fully complete? Like you're ready to sign your name at the bottom of it. I'm committing to this. I'm going. And here we go. Let's bring on 2026. Who is ready? No. Okay. All I get is I get a nope. Thank you, Rocky. Rocky's like, nope. Okay, cool. So it's not because I was talking to this about Wendy. I'm like, do you think people are tired of hearing about this? And we're like, I don't know. So I figure I would ask you all because apparently, no, we're not. So Wendy's the only one who raised their hand. So
It's just because I did a business planning event
Right.
2 weeks ago.
Well, the only
and,
reason I'm going to be honest, if I did not have a coach and I did not have other agents that I was coaching, I probably wouldn't have my business plan done. So there you go. So if you're working on your own, just know that you're probably just like everyone else who don't have a business plan complete. But that's why we talk about it so much this time of year, because what happens in January? What happens the first week of January? Come off mute. Let me know. I like engagement. I'll give you an introduction to who I am in a minute, but you'll learn real quick. I love engagement. So what happens the first week of January in real estate?
You're in holiday hangover.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, holiday hangover. But then what happens on the first, what happens like within the real estate industry? What do you start feeling in the market?
There's a lot of listings going up.
Yeah, you start to feel activity, right? You start to feel it happen. And so what happens is if you're right now heads down and not actually taking action towards your business, you're going to miss out. Because right now, my phone is already ringing with like, hey, I want to sell in 2026. I want to buy in 2026, right? So you've got to kind of think about like everything you're doing today, you're not going to reap the benefits of that for another 3 months. So what I'm going to talk about today is my way of planning that I've made very, very, very simple. So those of you that have been working on your business plan, how many of you have more than one goal that you're kind of focusing on? More than one thing?
I
If you
do.
are, I see hands raised. Cool. Most people have more than one goal that you're focusing on. Okay. Have you had more than one goal in the past? Yes. Have you achieved all those goals in the past? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to love what I'm talking about today. Today, I'm going to talk about what I call the wildly important goal. How many of you have ever heard of the wildly important goal? One person. Cool. Oh, Hilaire's raising her hand. Yeah. Okay. So we've got two people who have heard of the wildly important goal. Wendy's heard of the wildly important goal, of
From
course,
you.
because Wendy and I talk about this a lot. But today I'm going to talk about the wildly important goal. And I really want you to think about this when it comes to your plan, because next year in 2026, there's going to be a lot of things thrown at us. It's going to be a lot of things thrown at us. There already is, right? There's a lot of noise coming at us every day. And with yesterday on our mastermind that Wendy and I have on Mondays, we just learned about 2 new mortgage products that are out there to try to like be more, to solve more problems. Okay. And the thing is, those are good things, but what happens is it's just noise. It's all noise. So when you go to a call like this and you have something in mind that you want to do in your business, you come to a call like this and you hear, I heard like, what did Wendy have on recently? She had boards, she had AI twins, she had, what else did you have on here recently? You come to a call like this and you hear of all these other things that get in your way, right? You hear all these things and you get done with the call and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go do that right now. Does anyone else feel that? Anybody else feel? I do it.
Okay.
I do it. Okay. I'm a human. We're all human. It's what happens. I'm going to go do that right now. And then all of a sudden, what happens is that you kind of forgot about the intent of what you're doing. And usually that stems from the fact that you have too many things that you're focusing on. So yeah, shiny objects, Kimbro, you are absolutely right. They are just shiny. Silver, if you like silver, you can call them diamond, whatever you like. Okay, diamonds, gold, silver, right? Right, Rocky, yes. Which one is more important? It's a great question. That's what you have to ask yourself all the time. What's more important, right? And that's not to say that everything that you learn when you come to all these types of calls is just tools to help you get closer to your goals. Right? That's the intent of the tools. No one ever invites you to a call to be like, hey, get distracted and don't accomplish what you want to accomplish because I want you to learn this instead. That's not what they're doing. What they're doing is they're teaching you different tools and ways to help make it easier for you. But the one thing that nothing can ever do, no AI can ever do this. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how much you love ChatGPT, doesn't matter how many good prompts you have, how much training you have. The one thing AI can never do for you is determine what's most important to you. Okay? So I'm going to talk to you today about what I call the wildly important goal, or the WIG. So I'm going to pull out I was going to do some slides, but I don't want to do slides. I'm over it. I've learned that I actually teach better when I don't have slides. So
It will appraise.
Huh?
I'm sorry.
She
No,
said it will appraise.
Okay. Talking about a listing, right? A listing's going to, I have an appraisal on my listing today. We'll see how it goes. It's been on the market for 6 months. Anywho, okay. First of all, I'm sorry. How many of you don't know who I am? I know most of you on this call, but I think there's probably a couple who don't know who I am. Okay, so let me give you a quick intro. Wendy and I are business partners, and she's amazing. I love Wendy. Wendy has really inspired me to like be faster at what I do, because Wendy, like, she says something, she does it. Okay, so Wendy really inspires me to be faster, which I love about her. And I have been in real estate since 2018, so I had a little bit of taste of real estate before the fake real estate market. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? 2020, 2021, that was fake real estate. That was just pretend. Real estate, I got a little bit of a taste before that, but I actually grew up in the industry. You know, I have a mom who's still in real estate. She's been in real estate for about 40 years now. So I have been, no, I'm not new to this, but before I actually got into real estate, I actually worked in corporate America. And one of my roles in corporate America was to help CEOs of a Fortune 100 company plan, prioritize, and execute initiatives that would help make the company move forward in a fast manner. So when I came into real estate, I brought that mindset, the systems, the processes, the operational excellence. I brought that into real estate. And by 2021, I had achieved top 1.5% here in Washington. I sold 35 homes. I did a crap ton of volume, and I burned out real fast. because everyone in this industry likes to preach volume, likes to preach transaction count, right? The people that get recognized are the people that sell the most volume or do the most transactions, right? So I'm tired of that. I'm super tired of that. My thing is what should actually be recognized as dollars per hour. If you can actually increase your dollars per hour every year, you have massive success. So every year, my dollars per hour wage increases. I sell significantly less homes than I used to sell. I kind of like what Wendy does. Like Wendy talks about, selling luxury homes and selling less, making more. I do the exact same thing, but I don't necessarily sell luxury properties. So I, just like Wendy, want you to learn how to sell what you want to sell, what makes you feel comfortable. For some people, it is 100 homes a year. For some people, it's 5. Whatever that number is, I want you to feel comfortable making that happen for you and making the amount of income that can support the lifestyle that you want. So that is who I am in a nutshell, and that's what I teach. So I'm going to teach you today a wildly important goal. So I'm going to highlight myself here. Also, my light's kind of weird, so it will. How do I highlight myself? I can't do it. You have to make me a you have to highlight me.
Oh, hold on. Hold on,
I'm not
I'm
a host.
highlighting.
Yeah, you just do
are
spotlight.
speaker view.
No, spotlight.
Oh,
So if you click on the 3
Spotlight.
dots in my name.
okay. Sorry. Hold on. Hold on. I know. Hold
Yeah,
on.
now everybody can see
You
me.
went
Can y'all
to
see me?
speakers.
I
gotta go.
got it. I took care of it.
Cool.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to talk about the WIG, or the wildly important goal. Okay. So based on the name of it, tell me what you think the wildly important goal is. Based on just the name alone. There's no dumb answer, I promise you.
Something that stands out, a goal that stands out more than anything else.
Yes. Who said that?
Rocky.
Rocky. Yeah, I love that. A goal that stands out more than anything else. I love that. Stands out more than anything else. Anybody else?
The one thing you're passionate about within an industry.
Why do you say within the industry?
Well, because there's a lot of facets to our industry. You can either be first-time home buyer, bringing them in, or you can be a luxury person, or I've just one of the parts of the business that you really like to focus on.
Okay. Does it have to just be business though, or can a wildly
No,
important goal be
no,
anywhere?
of course not. Yeah.
It can be anywhere in life. I love that. Okay. Anyone else? What does wildly important goal mean to you?
To me, what it means is that one big goal that kind of encompasses the smaller goals.
Yeah. Who said that?
Teresa.
Love it. Big goal.
Okay.
Small goal. This is right. Okay, all this other, this is also correct, right? It has to stand out to you. You have to be passionate about it. But yes, this is 100% what a wildly important goal is. It is the one big goal that encompasses all of the smaller goals. Now, I want to define what goal means real quick. So a goal is something that you're achieving. A goal is not something that you're doing. Okay? So something that you're achieving, for example, is I want to run a marathon. A goal is not, I want to go out and run 5 miles today, in this sense. Because if you want to run a marathon, you have to be able to run 5 miles, right? So 5 miles is a milestone, but it's not a goal. So I want to make sure it's very clear that you understand what a goal is. And a lot of times what I think happens, especially in our industry, is we like to try to identify goals as the tactics that we're going to do every day. Like if I ask anyone on this call, what are the 3 goals that you want to accomplish today? What would you tell me? Does someone want to just tell me what your 3 goals that you want to accomplish today are? Anybody?
My
tell
3
you
goals
one-
are
I could tell you one for me is just to get a listing by the end of this year.
By the end of the year, okay.
Yeah.
Wendy?
I thought you were saying 3 goals for today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 3 goals for today are to run all of my calls successfully with Wi-Fi. And then I have 3 agent appointments that I'm going to crush.
Okay. So the 3 agent appointments aren't really goals. Those are tactics because they're
goals.
over on the overall goal. So I want you to think about, that's what I
The
really
goal
want
is
you to
to
think
crush
about when
that.
Well, you're going to crush them. Yeah, that's the goal part piece. But the
Right.
calls are not the goal. The calls are the tactics that you're doing to accomplish the goal. Okay? So I really want you to think about this. When I want you to think about goals, I want you to think about it in the big sense. The goals are not something that you're doing. They're something that you're accomplishing. Okay. So the wig is, I could like to call it a wig, right? It's a really fun thumbnail. If I ever, so Joanne, on your thumbnail, you could put a wig on me. Okay, it's a wig. It's a fun name. But it basically, here's what it is. It's about focus. Instead of juggling many goals, you identify the one that's going to make the biggest impact when you achieve it. It's like the one big domino. Okay, this could be a revenue target. It could be number of transactions. It could be a major business or life milestone, right? Revenue target, for example. How many of you have a revenue goal that you want to achieve next year? I want to sell X amount of homes. I want to make X amount of money, right? That's the goal. That's the goal. So when you think about the goal, your revenue goal, okay, someone want to tell me what your revenue goal is? Anybody? Anybody? No judgment. This is a judge-free zone.
50,000 a month.
50,000 a month. So 50,000 a month is how much per year? I can't do math.
Oh. I'm trying to get
All right,
in.
I'll do it for you.
you.
600,000. Okay.
Thank you.
Goal. WIG. Oops, hold on. WIG. 600K. Okay, that's the goal. Anyone else? How many of you have a transaction goal that you're trying to accomplish? Nobody? Allison, what's your transaction goal?
2 a month.
So 24 homes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why I didn't say 2 a month here in just a minute. I'll tell you why I said 24, and also, Wendy, why I said 600 instead of 50,000 in just a minute. Okay, anyone else? Who else has a volume goal? How much volume do you want to sell? Does anybody have that goal?
60
20
a year.
60 homes a year?
Yep.
Okay, 60 homes. Does anybody break it down into volume? Like how much volume 60 homes is? 60 times 200,000, whatever your average price point is, 1.2
My goal is
million.
12 million.
Is that what you said, Stephanie? 12 million?
Yeah.
I love
Mhm.
that. Funny. Okay, 12 million. 12 million volume. Okay, so wildly important goal. Now, when you're setting a wildly important goal, it's really important that it is a SMART goal. How many of you know what SMART goal means? We've all talked about SMART goals before, right? Okay, what does SMART mean?
Specific, measurable, achievable. I don't remember R.
Relevant.
Relevant and task
Timely.
oriented.
Time bound.
Timely. Something
Timely.
you can
That's
measure. Time.
Yep. The reason why it's relevant is because, like, if you're in real estate and you say, all of a sudden, I want to fly to the moon. Not really a relevant goal. Okay. So that's why relevancy matters, because, you could have a transaction goal, but if you also want to fly to the moon, I mean, that's probably not going to happen in a short period of time, right? You're going to have to go through some training and almost shift your focus. So that's why relevancy is really important. Okay. So when we're stating our goals, we want to make sure we state it in a time-bound manner. And the reason why I broke these into longer term is because 600,000 in revenue does average to 50,000 a month. But in January, what if you only hit 10,000? Then the goal changes, right? Because it's no longer 50,000 a month. It's like, then you have to make up that 40,000. And if you want to sell 2 homes a month, but in January you sell 0, your goal all of a sudden changes, right? You want one wildly important goal. Does that make sense? Why we're stating it that way? So when you say it, you want it to be smart. So when we're saying this in a specific way, I want to achieve or bring in or generate 600,000 in revenue from whatever by 12/31/2026. Okay, so all of you that have a goal, write your goal down that way, please. Smart. I'm putting it in here for you for those who need it. It's in the chat for you. So I want you to write it down very specific. I want to sell 24 homes by 12/31/2026. I want to sell 12 million in volume by 12/31/2026. So your goal statement should be very simple. So I want to blank by blank. Put a 1 in the chat when you're done with writing that down. Teresa's done. Yay. Love it. Allison, love it. Donna, Julie. Oh, hey, Donna. Didn't even see you on here. I love that. Rocky, Diane, Haley, Martha. Okay. I want to blank by blank. Move my mic out of the way. Lauren. Devonna. I want to. So Devonna, I'm going to encourage you to make that more specific. You only one. You get to choose. You get to choose transaction. You get to choose volume. You get to choose revenue. One. So I'll challenge you to make that even more specific, and then tell me how it feels when it's more specific like that. Lori, Isabel. Thanks for sharing it, Donna, too. I appreciate that. So if you guys want to look in the chat, you can see what Devonna did is put in the 3 different things she wants to do. And it's really common, is to say, I want to sell this much volume. I want to sell, which is this many homes and this much, this many transactions or whatever. However, it'll make this much income. But I want you to choose one. I go off of an income goal. Right, Lori, love that's even more specific. Lori did, look at that. So, Lori said, I want to net 1 million. Very, very specific. Love that. Great job. And that's a question that a lot of people ask me. That's always the question that comes up next is like, is this before or after I spend? And I'm like, well, that's what you have to figure out. That's your job to figure that out, right? Again, ChatGPT cannot help you with this. ChatGPT can help you with the tactics. It cannot help you with the goal. Okay, I want to achieve 200,000 by 12/31/2026. Donna, I want to generate 400,000 in revenue by 12/31/2026. Lauren, I want to achieve 150,000 by June 2026. Okay, so Lori and Donna, or Lauren, the only thing I'm going to tell you, I want that date to be more specific. Okay, so like, is it June 1st? Is it June 30th? This is really important. Got to be as specific as possible. So I'm going to challenge you there. By 12/2026, I want to 25 million in volume. Good. I love that, Devonna. What date? In December. Okay. So as specific as possible. That's why Lori was super specific. I want to net 1 million, because what that's going to do is that means all of a sudden Lori's focus on things that she's doing is going to be more on how much she's more on what's outgoing and more on the ROI. Whereas some, if you don't have the specific net version of your goal, you're going to focus on just bringing in as much volume as possible. It's 2 different activities, 2 different thought processes, 2 different mindsets. That's why it's
break
really
down
important.
mine,
Sorry.
Linnea, so I said I want to generate 400,000 in revenue by 12/31/2026. So
Yep.
break it down more.
Yeah. Do you want to generate that in revenue, or do you have a net goal also? For
Mm-hmm.
for
Okay.
some people, if you're not at the stage in your business where you have a net goal or a profit goal, that's not relevant.
Mm.
So let's go back to the relevancy, right? If you're at the
Mhm.
stage in your business where it is relevant to have a profit goal, then yes, you need to break that down further.
Mhm.
Okay? Because everyone's at different stages of their business. So when you're hearing goals, when you're hearing specificity, it's got to be specific to your business. Okay? I want to sell 24 homes and Icon by 12/31/2026. So Allison, question for you, is 24 homes going to make you Icon? Okay? So then what I want your goal is to break that down, one wildly important goal. So is the most important goal to Icon, or is the most important goal to sell 24 homes? Okay? I want to make Icon by 12/31/2026. Okay? So the reason why we want to be super specific is because the more complicated your goal is, the more it's going to confuse you and overwhelm you on a daily basis. That's why all of you at the beginning said I had more than one goal last year and I didn't achieve them. Because your goal was too confusing. So Wendy, I'm going to use you as a test subject. 600,000 in revenue. Do you know how you're going to achieve that 600,000 in revenue? The answer is probably yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yep. So
Right.
20,000 a month in coaching, 20,000 a month in rev share, and $10,000 a month in referrals.
Right. And then every month she's going to review that. And if she didn't make that month, she's going to plan that. But in her mind, in her goal, it's always going to be 600,000 a month. How many of you have ever seen Wendy's I'm going to sell 100 homes tracker that she has? Have you ever seen her tracker? Well, you'll have to ask her to show you. She has on her wall, this is one of the very first things I ever noticed about her. Okay. This is why Wendy does what she does, you guys. So Wendy has the big ass calendar. Okay, I got a small version of the big ass calendar because I'm trying to figure out where I'd put it. But the big ass calendar, and on there she has a tracker of how many homes she sells. And as I've known Wendy for the last 4 or 5 years, I've watched that tracker change focus, but the goal never changed. So first, when I met Wendy, she personally wanted to sell 100 homes. And every single time she would sell a home, she would put a house up. Okay? Put a house up. Next year, she's like, I want to sell 100 homes. But then she started counting more on her team to sell 100 homes. So then she started tracking her homes plus her team's home. And over the last couple of years, Wendy's been, I don't want to sell homes. I want to teach other people how to sell homes. I've already sold a lot of homes, right? And so Wendy's has been like, I'm still going to track how many homes are being sold. How many homes am I being paid on, right? But the goal was always to sell 100 homes. So if Wendy had said up front, I want my goal to be, I'm going to personally sell 25 homes, my team's going to sell 75 homes, whatever. It's not, she can't control any of that. They're not controllable. She can't adjust those. But she can adjust when she's saying sell 100 homes, because if she got to the end of last year and she had only had 90 homes on that board, Wendy would have been like, shoot, I have to go sell 10 homes now. And Wendy would have go and sold 10 homes. Okay.
Gotta mark them off, and you got to look at that every day. Like that's what I love.
That's part of the wildly important goal, is having the tracker for it.
Right. So, and I didn't just have houses there. So I had a vision board, which I marked off everything this year already. So we got the RV, we got the semi truck, we went on more freaking Harley trips, I coached more, I got on more stages. So like it was all there, it's all marked off. So super excited about that. And then the houses. Yeah, like we bypassed that in June. I got paid on over 100 houses by June. So that's freaking so cool, right? I ran out of space. And then I have agents, and the cool thing is that they stay on that board, right? The houses go away every year because I have to start all over. The agents stay there, right? So I'm still working on that. Almost, well, no, we're over 100. We're at 123 today. So yay.
So one wildly important goal.
And then coaching, yep. And then we have coaching. So yeah, it has changed every year. It's like, okay, what are the 3 things I want to focus on? And now we kind of dialed in.
Yeah, Rocky says we need a bigger board.
I need a big board. And yet I moved into an RV. So
small
like, I'm
place.
trying to figure that out.
Figure that one out. That's your wildly important goal this year, figuring out how you're going to fit the bigger board. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. When you focus on just the one goal, okay, it increases your effectiveness, your expertise, and your demand. So that's why we talk about that. That's why I talk about focusing on the one thing. How many of you have ever read the book, The One Thing? Or you've read Ed Milet's The Power of One More, right? Anytime you read any books about people who are successful, do they talk about a billion different things? How many of you know what Steve Jobs is known for? Everyone know who Steve Jobs is? Okay. What is Steve Jobs known for?
Apple computers.
Apple computers, right? Steve Jobs is not known for Apple computers and the floppy disks and I don't know, I can't even think of it that far back, all the things that went into it. Steve Jobs is known for Apple computers. And every single time I've read his book, it was really, really good. If you guys read or listen, I would probably listen to this one. It's just called Jobs. I listened to it. I didn't read
You
this one.
guys read?
I mean, if I'm like read or like, I don't know, I just assume, but not everybody reads. I don't know. Okay. But yeah. And I was also known for wearing black turtlenecks, but he was known for his goal, by the way, his wildly important goal was to change the way that people on the world connect with other people. That was his goal. That was his wildly important goal. And today, how many of us on this call are Apple users? Okay, we're not going to go into an Apple Android debate here, but those of you who are Apple users understand what that means. You can understand that his goal has been accomplished because he had one wildly important goal that he was focused on. Okay, so when you focus on the one thing, it allows you to increase your effectiveness, expertise, and demand. As we just demonstrated with Wendy, she has her goal was her houses, right? And that allowed her every year to increase that. But I almost bet, I've never talked to Wendy about this, but I almost bet that she didn't go about being like, I'm going to do all of these things and accomplish every single one of them. No. She's like, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to accomplish that. And then the next year or the next month, whenever it's accomplished, then I'm going to add one more thing, right? And that's the power of a wildly important goal. Okay. So how many of you got your goal statement? Now, what I want you to think about is I want you to think about the drivers. The main drivers to accomplish that goal. So those of you who had 600,000 in revenue, so Winnie said 600,000 in revenue. She said, I'm going to do this amount in coaching, this amount in revenue share, this amount in whatever else she said. Okay. Those are your three drivers. That's why those are not your goal. Your goal is the big goal. So whoever said this, I think this was, who said this? Who said this one? Teresa, thank you. Teresa, you get credit. Whoever said the big goal and then the smaller goals, right? Because Wendy's goal is 600,000 in revenue, but her other smaller goals are X amount in coaching, X amount in revenue share, X amount in whatever else she said.
Referrals.
Referrals, thank you. Thank you. So that's what I want you to do now. So those of you who have this, I want you to say, I want to sell 24 homes. Okay. I want you to break that down. Break that down. X amount in X price range. I want to sell 20 homes in the $500 million price range, whatever it is. Okay. I want you to break that. I want you to break this down. I want you to have three main drivers that are going to help you achieve this goal. Sometimes when it comes to drivers, if you have a transaction goal, it can be things like events. Like an event is a revenue driver if you do it right. But what are the three main drivers for your goal? So an example for me is my goal, my house sale goal in 2026 is 10 houses. I want to sell 10 houses. That's the goal. Okay. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to do that through my database, quarterly touch-ins. I'm going to do that through increasing the amount of times that I ask for referrals. And I'm going to sell 10 homes by organic outreach on social media. So I want you to think about that. And sometimes your goal, if my overall revenue goal, I have a very overall high revenue goal. Okay. And that, like Wendy, comes down from coaching, homes, and revenue share. So that's my revenue. So revenue, to me, a revenue goal is the easiest goal to make because then you can decide which income streams you want it to come from. So those of you who have, Allison, I think you were the one who said icon and 24 homes, right? That's why I say just focus on icon. Okay, because I'm going to focus on making icon, and that means in order to do that, I'm going to sell 24 homes or achieve 500,000 in volume or in revenue. Okay. Does anybody want some help breaking that down? I want you to break down your wildly important goal statement into 3 drivers. And remember that each of your drivers should have a clear, simple focus. So don't get too complicated. I know it's hard for all of us high D people. How many here are a high D? Okay.
So how would you break that down if you were, for example, doing ads and, calling on leads and things like that? How would you break that down apart from, like I've been doing real estate for 19 years and I have a sphere and, a past client database, which a lot of them have moved out of California, but, but, how do you break down that as far as that?
So your goal is 25 million in home sales, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So if I were to break that down, I would break that down by how many houses it needs to be, first of all, over
Yeah,
X
I
amount
did
of dollars.
25.
So 25 over X of over $1 million.
A million, yeah.
Is that easy in your market?
Yep. All day
Okay.
long.
Cool. All right. You're right. Oh yeah, you're in Morgan Hill. Okay.
Silicon Valley, yeah.
Yeah. So that's easy. So really you could actually sell less. So if it were me, I might
Right.
even break that down even more and be like, instead of selling 25 homes, to me, it feels like it might be easier to sell 12 homes at 2 million or
Right.
2.5 million.
True.
That's the first thing I would do.
That is the goal, actually, more
That is
than
the first, right, there you go.
because
That's
the million's easier, right? Because, like I said, there's not really anything much less than that in my market.
right. But I mean, the other thing you want a goal to be achievable, right? 2.5 million in your market doesn't seem like it's unachievable.
True.
So you want it to be achievable, but that's the first thing I would do is break that piece of it down. Do you want to sell 25 homes and work twice as much? Or do you want to sell 12 homes?
Yeah, I'd like to do 12 homes at 2
Cool.
million.
Cool. So that's going to make it even, that's going to make what you're doing, the tactics to achieve those, it's going to make that different, right? Because to sell 12 homes, you might have to put in a lot of effort all the time. Whereas if you're going to sell, 25 homes, you have to put a lot of effort. But if you're selling 12 or technically 12 and a half, 13 homes, whatever you want to round it up to, right? Your effort's going to be different. You're going to have more focused effort.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You have significantly focused effort because, right, what you said, your question started with, if you're doing events and you're doing phone calls and you're doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this,
Yes.
that's normal if you're trying to achieve a goal of selling a lot of transactions.
Okay.
But if your goal is to actually decrease the amount of homes that you sell, increase your dollars per hour, that's what you're trying to do, because you can. That's exactly what's going to happen. If your goal is to increase your dollars per hour, it's going to change the way that you do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good.
That's the very first thing I would do. Okay, does that help?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And just remember, there's more than one way to make more money in real estate, right? You can sell homes at a higher price point, you can sell more homes, or you can increase the value that you provide to your clients and ask for more compensation.
Right.
So there's 3 ways to do that. So I would take that and take that even further.
Okay.
All right, does anybody else need help with that?
So, Lynea, if we break down 12 homes, if we say one from the referral, one from database, so we work on the drivers to achieve from those whatever we plan.
Correct.
We do a plan against that. Yeah.
Correct. Right. It's a lot easier when you have the drivers there, right? Because if I'm gonna achieve X amount of referrals, right? You're gonna put in certain effort to achieve X amount of referrals. So you can better allocate your time. So my theory, not my theory, this actually is proven. I teach my clients in my high ticket mastermind, I teach them this all the time. And I teach them that the problem that you have in your business is not that you need more business. most of you have been in the business for some period of time. I think most of you have on this call, from what I know. Most of you have been in this for some period of time. So you don't necessarily need more business. You don't necessarily need a bigger database. You don't need that. Like my very first coach I ever had was Brian Buffini. Y'all heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
Brian Buffini told me you need 100 people in your database. 100 people. Well, he said, what's your goal? And I said, I would love, like my very first year, I was like, I want to sell 1 home a month. I want to sell 12 homes. He said, okay. He's like, how many people do you have in your database? I was like, well, I don't really have a database yet. He's like, okay, so let's fix that first thing. Then he said, but how many people do you know? And I said, I don't know, hundreds. He said, what if I told you that you could sell 12 homes a year by knowing less than 100 people? And I said, show me how. And I did it. I didn't even have a database my first year in real estate. Like I was just starting out. My first year, I sold 10 and I was the only part-time. I had a corporate job still and I was selling homes on the side. And just from working my database and working my sphere and understanding where my focused effort should go, I made that goal happen with less than 100 people. So most of you, how many of you have more than 100 people in your database? Show of hands. So if I told you that all of your goals are possible with what you currently have in your database, would that change the effort that you put into what you're doing? That's why I want you to break your goals down. I want you to say, hey, I want to achieve this. And most of you, the answer is not to go out and generate more leads. Don't get me wrong. You always need business coming in, but you don't need to be generating leads at a massive pace at this point. You just need to be more focused. Okay. Joyce said, I want 1 driver to be outbound referrals for productivity partners. Perfect. There you go. Joy's like, I want to make money on referrals. That's like what Wendy said, make money on referrals, right? So then you break that driver down to how many referrals do you want to send out? So the thing is, you have to, Jackson, I'm the most unorganized person ever on earth. No, I bet you're not. I bet you I've met people who are more unorganized than you. He's like, no, it's him. Okay.
No, I got you beat.
Rocky said, I got you beat. That's funny. Linda, you have your hand raised.
Yes, my question is, when you say database, are you talking about the database of like our sphere of influence, are people that we know personally, or the database where we're building as leads come in? Is there a distinction there? Nope. You're making just who's ever in that? Yeah. Because I have, my personal contacts for referrals, and I have a database for leads that have come in.
Yeah, some people have a database right here in your phone. That's it.
Okay.
So you probably have 100 people in there. So, and when I did this, my example of the story I just gave you from Brian Buffini, I didn't have any CRM. The only thing I had was my notes in my phone. So like if I go back through my phone contacts from like back in 2018, I see all these notes. I used to like literally talk to people and put their notes in their contact card on the phone. So it was possible, by the way, to make more than 6 figures doing that. So those of you who are highly unorganized or don't have a database, no, that doesn't count. You don't get to use that excuse because you all have a phone. Okay, you can use your notes app on your phone. I'll be happy to find a old contact card and give it to Wendy so she can share it with you and show you what that looked like. Now, I'm not encouraging that, okay? I would like you all to get organized and have a database and have a CRM, and I can totally help you with that. I'm really good at that kind of stuff. But if you don't right now, just know that you can do it with what you currently have. Okay? Sorry, database class at EXP so we can get organized. Yes, actually, Allison, I actually have one, so I can tell you what that is all about. Paul says, does that dog on your phone count as database? Yes, Paul, this is my dog. This is Maya. Thank you. I was like, what's he talking about? It's Maya, by the way, my puppy. Okay, so wildly important goal. How many of you have a little bit more clarity, even just working through these first couple stages of your goal? Okay. Have you ever been taught to set goals like this? Even if you have, you need to be taught again, right? Because we all need to learn something more and more. I mean, the other day I had to go through and reteach myself how to set goals. So I was like, okay, let me reteach myself. Okay. But I really want you to think about The one thing with making all of this happen is you've got to set the statement, the very smart statement. Then you have to identify the 3 drivers are going to make that happen, then work backwards from that. The biggest mistake I see when it comes to planning for a year is going in and being like, I'm going to do an event every quarter, a newsletter. I'm going to throw out 25 Facebook ads, 1 video a week, 2 videos a week, 50 emails, right? That's what we do. We work from the bottom. But instead, I want you to work from the top. I want you to take from the top. I want you to reverse engineer that. Just like with Devana's example, as soon as I said, hey, do you want to sell 25 homes a year or do you want to sell half of that and make the same amount of money? Like I actually saw, I don't know if any of you were paying attention, but I actually saw her eyes shift a little bit, right? All of a sudden you can see it. You can feel the way that feels. So that's why I want you to start at the top, set that wildly important goal and work backwards from that to keep it super simple. And do yourself a favor and don't overcomplicate it. 1 goal, 3 drivers, 1 method per driver. And then every quarter, reanalyze that. Well, really, you should be doing it every month. Okay, start every month, reanalyze it, and then shift to every quarter. Adrian, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a very long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen you either, but thank you. I came in very, very late, so I don't know if you covered what I'm going to ask. I like your system. I like what you just mentioned. What's your take on time blocking?
I have 2 ways of time blocking that I teach. The first take is, if you're not going to follow your time blocks, don't waste your time blocking. That's the first thing. So if you're going to follow, if you're going to actually sit yourself to a schedule, do it. But if you're not, don't even waste your time.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the first thing. Second of all is you have to understand your brain and how it works. Okay. I know a lot about myself. I have done a lot of inner self work and I know exactly how I operate, exactly what works for me. And some people like to follow the Pomodoro method. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, 25 on, 5 minutes off. To me, I can't do that. My brain does not like to switch. So I actually do focused days. I actually teach people to do focused days because a lot of people are that way, where it's like, hey, today I'm going to focus on this because I can get a lot more done if I have a chunk of things to do. For example, I don't take appointments on Mondays. So Mondays, I take no calls. The only call I have is the Monday mastermind that Wendy and I host. Other than that, Mondays is a free day. They're not free. It's my most focused day.
Okay.
And then I'm very particular about my mornings, right? This is an exception to being here on this call at this time of day is an exception for me because this is my productive time. So like the very first thing is if you time block, stick to it. Do yourself a favor, stick to that commitment. And the one thing to help yourself stick to commitments is sign it. So at the bottom of your goal sheet that you're writing now, you're going to sign it at the bottom. You're going to sign and date it.
Cool. I like that. I do some time blocking. I think it's, I have ADD, so the best way for me to do business is by time blocking. So nothing can interrupt my hour of calls. It's like nothing. I won't read emails. I won't do anything. So I just wanted your take on it. Thank you very much.
Yep. Yeah, and then to me, the most important thing of anybody's day should be money-making activity. And as you progress in your business, depending on where you're at, that money-making activity changes. Sometimes your money-making activity is making phone calls. Sometimes your money-making activity in your business, like where I'm at with my business, my money-making activity is content. Because
So what I do in the beginning of the day is I tackle that which I hate. So if I have a difficult phone call, if I have something that I need to address that might mess up the rest of my day, that's the first thing I just get off my docket so I can change my mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions on any of this?
Love it.
Okay. So I'm seeing in the chat, there are some people who want to get organized. Okay. I am doing a workshop on the 10th of December. I know it's a few weeks from now, but I'm doing a workshop on the 10th of December that I'm going to take you through your 1-page system that we just went through. I'm going to help you break it down granularly and help you walk away with clarity on exactly what you should be focusing on. So today was just a little bit of a taste of it. But if you are interested in the workshop, here's the link for you. It is a paid workshop. It's $27. There will be a replay. You can do that. Or if you're interested, you can also sign up for my newsletter that Wendy was so gracious to just create a quick link for me. But if you sign up for my newsletter, we do have next week a lot of free tips coming out. So our Black Friday special, just so y'all know, is we have a bunch of free gifts every day. So one day we have a little bit of we have a mini planner, we have content prompts for you, we have some AI prompts for you. So all of that stuff is in there. So if you want to sign up for my newsletter, you can. But also, you know, if you really want help planning and organizing your business in a way that's simple and actually accomplishable, then I would sign up for the workshop. Allison, it depends on how much time we have, how many people are on the call. It's an hour and a half. It's a 90-minute call. So it depends on how many people are there. But there is going to be a second VIP day. So if you want to dive specifically into the database, you can on the second day. So great question. I said that because Allison said, are you doing database? Okay. Anything else on this?
I have a question. In regards to when you were helping me break down those three, the three things, one of them is I've done a really large past history of working with investors. And I noticed some of the clarity that came about in that is that my future, business plan for next year, I haven't been doing a lot of, how do I say, digging deeper to get more of that business because it's dwindled off a little bit because one of the investors that I have worked with like for the past 5 years was really just I did such a good job for him that he kept just giving me referrals. Okay. So I have not reached out. Like I get about five or six touches, texts pretty much almost every day for investors looking for, flip properties. And would you would you take that as something that I need to build further on? For example, work more on a type of lead gen for my investors as part of my business plan. For example, if I were to do different types of, maybe default servicing or I forget the one that, when someone dies and they have no will, that kind of thing. So would that be something I would want to focus on? I mean, as far as my lead gen?
Great question. There's two lenses I would ask you to look through that with. The first lens is, how do you feel working with those people? It's the very first question I would ask.
Yeah, I feel good.
Okay. So because if the answer is, I like it, I like the money, right? But you got to feel out the people, the way they make decisions, the way they react, their response time, the way their emotional state, right? You have to think about all those things. And if the answer is a hell yes every single time, then yes, you should absolutely put money into it.
Okay.
It's
challenging, but I really like the challenge, and I kind of excel in that area, whereas a lot of people seem, can shy away from that.
Yeah, like I don't like that kind of business, but you do. So that's perfect. It's a prime example of people who love it versus don't, right? So that's the very first lens I would have you look at that through before you decide if that's something you want to include as one of your drivers. You've got to like recognize, how does that make you feel? Okay, this relationship this business is very feeling based. We have to love what we do. If you don't love it, you're going to burn out. I've been there.
Well, and I have a lot of experience in it,
There you go. That too. And if you could do it efficiently, like if you do it, could it help increase that dollars per hour?
Yeah, and it's quick money because they're all cash people, I mean.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think you answered your own question.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Anybody else want to take? I have a couple more minutes. I can answer other questions if you have it. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you. Everyone, thanks for letting me be here. Thanks for letting me take an hour of your time today.
Yeah, the board thing is working. It's going to our Google Sheet, and we shared it with you and Tyler. So
thank you.
We are good. You're good with that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So like I said, if you want free stuff, more just freeness, please sign up for the newsletter because we do free every week. But next week, like super excited about our Black Friday week. You guys, it's going to be awesome. I've never done it before and I'm really excited. So join and tell me what you think because I think it's going to be fun. We've spent a lot of time putting it together for you.
And Paul says, I've been taught how to set goals, set them, and then wake up the next day and forget or set another shiny object over the top of it. That's so common.
It is.
Don't feel like you're the only one.
You're not alone, Paul.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
That's the normal. That's realtors, And the thing is that we're all realtors for a reason. Because we're all kind of like that. We're very creative, right? And hop from one thing to the next. So it's just about kind of like, honing in and, following through with what you do have planned, and I have a Joanna. If you don't have a Joanna, you might want to get one of those because she's always yelling at me. Like, she's like, really? Is that $400 an hour work, Wendy? Is that what you should be working on?
I love that, Joanna.
She knows that, what I'm supposed to be doing to reach our goals because they are our goals. We're partners. And, she keeps me on track. And if I didn't have that, so if you don't have that, you should have that. And just remember, keep going back. Okay, this is what we need to do to get to here. So let's do it. Linda.
I just wanted to, Lynea, I like that idea of focus. I think that will help me better because I'm just like Paul with the shiny objects. Focus on a day, what I'm going to do, take a day. I think that's going to really help me focus.
Yeah,
so I just wanted to
you
comment
have that in your Systems Catalyst course too. I have my actual time blocking training in there, so you can go through there. And I think it's like module 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's all in there.
What the thing I signed on yesterday for? Okay.
Yeah. And then I like I was going to say with Wendy saying you guys need the accountability. Like Wendy has a commit or quit call every day. You guys, if you're not part of that, you should join one of those calls or all of them. That's how you get your accountability.
They're good.
So if you don't have a Joanna, you don't have a Tyler, join something like that for now. And like just find those people who can be those partners and hold you accountable to the things. There you go.
Right. Yes, that is every morning, 7:15, 8:45, and 9:15 a.m. PST. Do the math in your section of the world. But yeah, you just hop on, state your 2 things you want to get done, and then you hop on the next day, same time, and state whether you got it done or not. And if you didn't, what got in the way? What are you going to change? Blah, blah, blah. But the cool thing is that you get to hear what other people are doing too. So if you don't know what the hell you're supposed to be doing or what you should be doing, maybe you'll get an idea, right? So that's what I like about it. And we run them for us too. We want to make sure we get our stuff done. I don't want to hop on the call and say I didn't get my stuff done. So I make sure I get it done, even if it's 5 minutes before the call is ready.
It's done.
Yeah, it's commitorquitzoom.com. Do not put a www before that. It doesn't work. I don't know why. It's tech. Anyway, so just commitorquitzoom.com. And you can pop that into your calendar, click on repeat daily, Monday through Friday, right? So whenever you want to do something and you want to put it in your calendar, click repeat weekly or repeat daily, like whatever you want to do. That way you make sure it's there and you actually go. Because yeah, we could plan and time block all day long, but if you never look at your calendar, it is a complete waste of time.
Waste of time.
But I live by my calendar. So awesome. Okay, you guys, I got to hop into the VIP room where I get to help people press the buttons. And for those of you in my org, I will see you on office hours at 10:30, I hope. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Thank you, Lynea. Appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lynea. Thank you, Vinny.